Yes, sir.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unparalleled Sports Talk with my man Chris Franklin. As always, I'm Kwame Fisher Jones, and today we are going to talk a little, try to get a little buzz going for the NFL offseason. I guess is the best way to put it. It's a slow time. It's anytime you're sitting around. Like I've been watching NFL for years, and for me, I've never been into the scouting combine, and I feel like when you're talking about guys in shorts and t-shirts with painted on numbers, it's a sad state of affairs for football fans. As this is what it is. You're looking at guys. I can't remember the last guy that had success at the combine, was a knockout in the combine, then that carried over to the league. Can you think of anybody? I know it's off a random question, but I can't think of anybody.
Will Anderson. Wait, no, Will Anderson. I don't think he does a combine. No. Yeah, it's tough to think of. It's just so many busts you see. You see somebody runs
Yeah,
a 4.23, and next thing you know, Xavier Worthy. You're sitting there looking like, oh, this is great. Oh, okay. Yeah,
exactly.
nah. Try flag football or something. I don't know.
It's like it's one of those. It's the old cliche. Put it on a t-shirt. Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. It's like they come in the combine, they got everything popping up, blah, 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 blah. They've been eating right, they bulked up, they got their tans on, they can put 225 up 40 times. But football is on the field. That's it. You can't measure football. It's like basketball. You can measure a guy in basketball. The measurables and immeasurables guy. Football, they don't. It's how you produce when the whistle blows. That's it. Some guys don't even look the part. I think it's Tony. So anyway, so yeah, that's what we are. So we try to get something going because I'm scattered for topics to even keep me awoke. But one topic I'm interested in is Tyreek Hill. So I read a report the other day that said he should be ready by training camp, which kind of blew my mind because I just assumed he would be ready by the start of the season. What are you hearing? Is that the timeline that you're hearing? What are you hearing as far as free agency, as far as his health? What's the buzz out there?
The thing I'm hearing is sometime around training camp. Now, whether that's late in training camp where he ramps up and he's ready to go week one, maybe that's a possibility. Maybe it's something where it's lingering. And I mean, with these knee injuries now, yes, you have the technology to have everybody's knee get back and come back to the field a lot quicker. Sometimes some people's bodies react a little bit differently. So yeah, it's a little things where I think he comes back to whoever he joins, or if he decides to sign early in the off, like in June or July. I think it's one of those things where he sits down, he rests, he still continues to work it, but then you'll see more and more action coming on later on. But I think there's still a market for him. There definitely still is a market for him. You still the wild card with him always is his availability, not injury wise, but is he going to get arrested that day? I hate to say it, but it's happened a couple times. And I'm not even trying to be funny. It's like you got those going on. Is he going to get in the headlines for something in his house or whatever?
Yeah.
You don't know with him.
Is it going to be
So
something non-football related?
right,
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah. So you're wondering, you're like, you see the talent. I know he's getting older. Everybody's going, well, he can't be Cheetah anymore. He's not going to be that old. You know, to me, he's still productive.
Yeah.
He still can provide you stuff. He just needs a team with a solid veteran group. The one team that keep seeing his name pop up more and more, the Kansas City Chiefs,
Yeah.
which you look at the weighted basis of, if it tracks because, let's see, Rasheed Rice, he
Yeah.
had some off the field stuff, and we know Andy's
I was
penchant
going to say
for
Andy Reid. Andy Reid,
cocaine. Yeah,
you know,
it's just
king
perfect.
of the nine chances. Andy Reid is a YN's favorite coach. Let me tell you, just put it down. I can't say that, but Andy Reid is a YN's favorite coach. Boy, when I think of Tyreek, man, I hope there's no setbacks. I just want to jump sports. Jason Tatum's coming back or came back, and in my other show I discussed that. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but guys' roles have changed. They've adjusted. They've learned a way to play without Jason Tatum. So to now all of a sudden interject him into the lineup, it was like I wondered what the impact would be. When I think of Tyreek Hill, man, if he's not ready by training camp, I wonder if he's going to play this season because you
Yeah.
can't just throw. Maybe Kansas City can because they have a history with him, and I'm sure Patrick Mahomes. But I take that back. I don't know if there's a locker room that you can just drop Tyreek Hill in and you would know better than me because I tend to live in a bubble. But I don't know if there's a way that you can just drop Tyreek Hill in the middle of the lineup or drop Tyreek Hill in the middle of the locker room a week before opening day or a week before week one. I mean, what say you?
I think you can, and I think that the Chiefs are one because there's another name we haven't mentioned that is back there now, Eric Bieniemy. He's familiar with
Yeah,
him too. So you have that. I look at who would fit. I would laugh if it happens because he would fit the mold of this team, the 49ers. Older guys, guys with who are a little broken down. I know they got Mike Evans, but hey, use him on the outside, use him situationally early on, and then you see what you have with him, Pearsall, and Evans. That's with McCaffrey not having to rely on him as much, just let him do focus on the run game and not so much in the passing game. All of a sudden, that looks really good. And then you look at the other teams that run the quote unquote Shanahan offense. Maybe I look at the Chargers, maybe because you got his old head coach being the
yeah,
OC
we
out
talked
there.
about the Chargers. Here's the thing, though, Chris. So right now, we would say that we both would agree that he's still going to have his speed. All right, he's still going to have his speed to still be a prolific receiver. The phrase is not for long. That's what the NFL says. I mean, we've heard it all, stand for not for long. You can get a fast receiver. You can get one in the draft. There's one that's swinging around in the mud. You could find a fast receiver that'll be there for you when training camp starts. Just I don't know if you could if he's like we mentioned all these relationships that he has, but those guys are all on their second fiddles. They're on their second go rounds. And in case of the enemy, he's fighting for his football life. McDaniels will be in the NFL for foreseeable future. The enemy struggles this year. Kansas City doesn't jump back. He doesn't do something that pops, dare I say, pops out there. He may not be on a sideline. Forget NFL, forget college. You're talking high school at best, flag football. That's what we're talking about. So I don't know if he wants to hitch his wagon to that cheetah, pun intended. you know?
Well, I can see. Well, you forgot the UFL. He can be a renegade. He can do a Belgian stallion. He look good.
Exactly.
He gets.
That's what we're talking
And
about.
in all seriousness, I thought he would go there to try to establish that he could be a head coach, and then get his feet up, and then move up, or come back somewhere else. But I think he's good where he's at. But another thing is, I just found this as well too. Yeah, Hill was supposed to be back for the regular season. He needs medical clearance. You got the OTAs. He's not doing anything stupid. The one guy I think he could really talk to, or he's in the same boat I put him in the same boat, is Odell Beckham Jr. Another guy who's knee injury, waited around, finally got signed close season. And one thing I'm thinking about as well too, a lot of these guys are not going to want to be part of training camps a lot. You always see all the veteran guys come in a week or two afterwards, and
That part.
yeah, unless he's as a quarterback that like is a young guy, they want to get him developed with, which I don't foresee him going because he wants to go. He's getting old. He wants to get one more championship. I don't see the Jets. I don't see the Raiders. You don't see any of these teams that are developing. There's no reason to sign them. So I look at that as a way. I'm like, you know what? Let him rest. Somebody's gonna come knocking. There's gonna be an injury or something like that that happens in training camp. Plug and play. You roll with that, and you hope he catches on pretty quickly.
We'll see. It's going to be more the longer wait, obviously, like duh, but the longer it goes, the more interesting it's going to become. Because, like I said, you can't just drop Tyreek Hill in the middle of a locker room. As you prepare for week one, you just can't do that. That's not a personality. That's not a guy you just bang. Guess who we're signing, you guys? But we mentioned the Chiefs, and speaking of the Chiefs, there are a couple interesting trades. Philly trades for Andy Dalton, which I thought was interesting because it's a completely different style of quarterbacks than what you have and what you would have to go to. But if Andy Dalton is who the Eagles have to go to at any point in the season, we's in trouble. Jalen Waddle gets traded. But a trade that I found very interesting, and I want to get your opinions on that, and then any other trade that caught your eye. But I want to get your opinion specifically on Justin Fields going to Kansas City. I know they were talking about it. I'm pretty sure it's been done. It's finalized. So Fields has been on two wretched franchises, in the Bears and the Jets. And there were two franchises that have known to ruin many a quarterback. But they ruined them to the point of no return. and he's managed to return. Then he goes to Pittsburgh in the midst of Pittsburgh's rebuilding, and I don't say he ran Mike Tomlin out of the building, but Mike Tomlin coached him and said, "I need a break." I'm saying, I mean, where's the lie? Mike Tomlin coached Justin Fields and said, you know what? I think I'm going to cool out. Antonio Brown ain't get him to do that. I want to say Ladarius Field, but it's not Ladarius. I would say
Well, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell couldn't get him to quit. Ben Roethlisberger couldn't get him to quit. You know what I mean? Like Russell Wilson couldn't get him to quit, but Justin Fields got him to say, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. So, point is, I take you there to bring it in. The point is, Andy had a lot of success with quarterbacks up until Mike McMahon. He had a lot of success with quarterbacks up until Mike McMahon. And Mike McMahon, I feel like Justin Fields is closer to Mike McMahon than he is to Mike Vick. So, but I'm curious to see if they can squeeze anything out of him, because he's going to be behind one of the best athletes in the world, not just football players, but one of the best in the world. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best athletes in the world. He's going to be studying behind him. It's going to be like studying under Bruce Lee on the fourth floor. He was on the fifth, Bruce Lee, he's on the fourth. So we'll see where that goes. But can they squeeze any blood out of that stone? Is there anything there worth keeping?
Well, first, I think the fact, and it saves a lot of these guys that are taking the first round. Like, you just have to say, "Oh, he's a former first rounder. I'm interested. Let me look at. Oh yeah, bring him in. Yeah,
exactly.
I think for one or two games, I think he's an upgrade, because your other option would have been, hey, let's re-sign Gardner Minshew, and we saw what happened before he got hurt. We saw what happened with him. I'd rather have Justin Fields.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. Yeah, he had a knee. They thought he tore it, but it wound up being some bruise or whatever. That he's in Arizona now, so it goes there. But I think he gives you a better option for one or two games. If I have to rely on, if I'm the Chiefs, I just need to get by with one or two games. I think you can live with that. And like we were talking about with Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes' knee, there's questions if he's going to be ready for week one or not. So I can live with that.
Will he be good? That I got faith in Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to put it. I hope he's ready. He'll be ready to rock and roll. He'll be Patrick Mahomes. He'll be the new Patrick Mahomes, but he'll be Patrick Mahomes. My bad. I ain't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. And the other thing is, you look at him and you hold on to him thinking like, okay, if he does okay in training camp, if he looks like the first half with the Steelers, Justin Fields, where you're looking like, okay, you get him around competent coaching, you get him to look really good. Because remember, when you look at the Bears, we said before, offensive things is not their forte. You look at the Jets, and then you just go look at there.
The Jets are a four-letter word for a reason.
Like, yeah.
You know.
So you got him out. You got him out of that. You put competent coaching around him in that offense, and you just say, "Hey, listen, you don't have to be Superman. We don't need you to win. We just need you to manage the game. Just do your thing. Get 70 rushing yards, 150 passing yards. Rely on the defense. We win 20-13 week one. I'll take that. If it was Gardner Minshew, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 punt. Defense. They went out. When you punt, by the time the defense is like in the fourth quarter, like, change this now. We ain't going through this no more, especially early this season. So I can live with that. I think he'll do okay. I'm not expecting the world from him. I'm not expecting a Geno Smith arc from him, but I think he'll do good enough where he can be Jacoby Brissett. He can be Jacoby Brissett. I think he has a potential that. You don't want him to be your full-time starter, but you don't want him. He's like the 33rd quarterback in the league right now. You like him in that spot where he could be one of the best backups, but you don't want him being your starter full time.
I was thinking when I saw his name come across, I was like, oh, I would have taken him on Philly, but would I really? I think, I feel, I believe it's over. I think this is over. And I use the name Mike McMahon for a reason, because Mike McMahon had a spark when he first started, but then it all turned to garbage and garbage. And that's the case with Justin Fields. The Jets was his last stop. If there was any place he could have done something, because the bar was so low in New York that if he could have done something, they would have held on to him. And he couldn't do anything. Like he couldn't muster it up for anything. And now we're sitting here wondering, or now we're sitting here talking about can Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy turn him into something? And look, let's call it what it is. Andy Reid was rock solid with quarterbacks until Mike McMahon happened. And when Mike McMahon happened, it was a wrap. He couldn't make it happen anymore. It was over with. It was done. I mean, and Doug Peterson got something out of Nick Foles, but Andy provided that foundation. But yeah, it's I don't. This
I
would
look at
be
Mike too. I
say
think he
again.
got something out of Vic. I think he got something out of Vic though,
Yeah, he
because
did. He got something out of
yeah.
it, but Vic was already like. I would not say Justin Fields had the success that Michael Vick had. Justin Fields right now is athletic ability, much like Mike McMahon. Mike McMahon was an athletic marvel, and we can even go Mike McMullah. Like it was so many different things. But the point is, man, I think he's more an athlete than football player at this point. And I hate to say that about a quarterback, especially a black quarterback, but I don't believe he's going to prove me wrong. And when we look at that, look at him going to Kansas City, especially with the expectation of Kansas City, he comes in, he's got a feeling for Patrick Mahomes. They're in a whole lot of trouble, especially if Tyreek Hill's on the field too, because Justin Fields is going to be trying to get the ball to him, trying to hit the home run, trying to Andy Richardson his way out of looking like a pedestrian quarterback. Just my thoughts. What do you think of the Waddle trade?
I I still can't believe it. And I'm being I think Jalen Waddle has some talent. I don't think he has a first, third, and fourth talent. I look at that as and I think this is where the comments of Sean Payton came back to bite him. And we need a receiver. We need like it first started after that championship game loss. So we're talking about, well, we dropped too many passes. We need our receivers to do better. And he's like, oh, you know where they're gonna go now. And then when everybody started, it wasn't a deep free agency class wide receiver wise. And when people started getting picked off the board left and right, once you saw Alec Pierce was going to be there, I think they got desperate. They knew they wanted to go try to repeat. The West is not going to be, the West is still going to be tough. I think the West got better and they think got a little bit worse this offseason. Like, we need to do something. And of course, Miami was having that fire sale. I'm like, well, we can't let anybody else get them. Yeah, just take what you want. Here's a first, here's a third, here's a fourth. And Waddle is a good 1B, maybe. To me, Waddle's a second wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I just don't see him being worth that value because, okay, he stretches the field, but look who you still have. It might say, oh, Bo Nix is still the best thing. He's still young. I still am waiting to see Bo Nix. I still think he's a little bit above average person.
Is he going to be healthy? When is he going to be healthy? Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, I don't think you got to trade for a wide receiver, dude. Like AJ Brown has probably been the best wide receiver trade in a long time. I think it's panned out for both teams. I feel like there's times that he's the best player on the field. But even with that, that's not. There's so many other positions where you need to invest that wide receiver. I think it was Colin Cowherd that said the wide receiver position, they're the icing on the cake. You don't want too much icing, and you won't eat a cake if the icing isn't. You'll eat a cake if the icing is not good. You just scrape it off. So the icing is great if it's good, but if it's not, you can just move on without it. That's how I kind of feel with the wide receiver position. There's so many good ones out there that you can just scrape off the buttercream and go with the cream cheese and be good to go. I don't see it. And I think Waddle, why he's had success. You said he's a 2 receiver. Let's even bump it up and say he's a 1B, which is a fancy word of saying 2. Miami sucked last year, and they sucked the year before that. So they haven't been a good football team. So he's been one of the best receivers on a bad football team. What does that really mean? It's like saying that's the nicest car without gas. It's the nicest car in the parking lot without gas. Well, without gas, it ain't going nowhere. So it's useless to you. Being a good receiver on a bad team is useless to you because you're not doing anything. You're not impacting the team. So Waddle, while it's great, it's a lot of movement. I don't know if it's a lot of achievement. Now, speaking of very little achievement, I love how I transition. That was a good transition. We're going to start our verses for the offseason, and we're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. Pro Football ranks the Arizona Cardinals as having the 31st best roster in the NFL. It's 32 teams in the NFL. So they weren't last. And then we're going to have the Arizona Cardinals, the one team in the association named after the state, not the city, versus the Las Vegas Raiders, who traded a guy, then got him back, traded the quarterback, got the number 1 pick in the draft, and they got the greatest quarterback of all time talking about a rebuild who's never been part of a rebuild. This is going to be fun. So who's going to have the better record next season, the Arizona Cardinals or the Las Vegas Raiders?
I think it's the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think it's by design. I think the Raiders get 5 wins. I haven't even the schedule hasn't even come out yet, and I think they can get 5 wins. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Arizona, Monty Ellis GM was like, looked at his division like, nope. Looked at the rest of the wild card, nope. We're tanking for a quarterback next year. To me, they're really tanking for a quarterback in 2027 because the moves don't make sense. You had Brissett, who helped you. He's a decent quarterback. He helped you out. Offense looked better, but he's not a full-time starter. You trade for Gardner Minshew. Why? Now. I'm going off a report that was made by a reporter off PX, the Phoenix, like the PHLY, PXHN or PHNX.
I got you.
He said the guy who led their team in sacks last year, Josh Sweat, asked for a trade after he found out Jonathan Gannon was fired. So you have that going on. Your offense. I mean, you brought back James Conner. He's really good, but the problem with him is, unfortunately, he gets hurt so much.
And he's older.
He's older. Michael Harris, Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not. I'm at a loss. You see flashes of him from him that he can be good, but then he just disappears so many times on there. Mike LaFleur, okay, even if they bring in the Shanahan offense, I'm looking at the pieces. I'm just like, where are you going to do it? So their first pick is probably going to be a left tackle, which you need. But that first pick is going to be used for that quarterback whoever they select next year. They'll be in the top 3. And basically, if I'm Arch Manning, I know it's either the Jets or Cardinals. I'm demanding the trade. I'm not playing for either one. Whoever that third team is with their best record, I'm hoping it works out there or they work out some trade or whatever, because I would not want to go to either of those teams. Dante Moore, the Cardinals would be the perfect team for a Dante Moore type from Oregon. That's the perfect team that would fit him, and I feel bad for him that he has to go through that and try to win in that place. But that team is just putrid. So yeah, the Raiders. I see the Raiders have pieces. We forgot Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers. Okay, throw them in there. You get Fernando Mendoza. He's going to take a little bit of time. Clint Kubiak. I know he had a good year, but
I'll take 5 wins. I can't dispute anything you're saying. I believe the Raiders will have the better record only because I think it'll be an argument between 3 wins and 2 wins. The Raiders ain't got a quarterback, my guy. They ain't got a quarterback. Like, they do not have a quarterback. Who's their starting quarterback week 1?
Fernando Mendoza. I think they throw him in the fire right away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
do it.
From
Indiana. The 40-year-old from Indiana. The 40-year-old from Indiana. That's who they're banking their hopes on. He's going to throw the ball to Marvin Harrison. Their best year, their franchise year, the greatest year, the year they went to the Super Bowl, they won 9 games. They won 9 games. They were 9-6.
Oh, I'm sorry. You meant the Cardinals. My bad. Sorry, I thought you read the Raiders. My bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about I'm switching to the Cardinals. I'll go back to it. I was switching to the Cardinals, but I'm going back to the Raiders. So that's why I believe it's going to be the Raiders winning 3 games, the Cardinals winning 2. Because, like I said, the Cardinals' best year, they won 9 games. And the Raiders are so inept, it's almost frustrating to a degree. And it's frustrating if you're a Raiders fan, because if you're a Raiders fan, you're thinking to yourself, what more do we need? If you're a Cardinals fan, you're thinking to yourself, what more do we need? They got the Cardinals have a good tight end. The Raiders got a good tight end. Cardinals got a good safety. The Raiders got a good safety. The Cardinals got a DI quarterback. They got a quarterback questions at quarterback. The Raiders got questions at quarterback. It's just like they mirror each other in ineptitude. So you have to pick them because we got to have the conversation. But they're not going to win more than 4 games, and the Cardinals aren't going to win more than 3. The Cardinals play in a murderous division They play in a murderous conference. They play in a conference, and I don't have their schedule in front of me, and I haven't picked it. But when you look at the NFC West, just period, you got McVay, you got Shanahan. Those are some of your best regular season coaches in the NFL. Those are some of your best regular season coaches in the NFL. Oh, I almost forgot. And the team that just won the Super Bowl is also in your division. Now, granted, they got Sam Darnold at quarterback, but who you got? Like who you, before you laugh at them, look at yourself. Before you point fingers, look at yourself. You're not looking too good in them streets either. So yeah, I'm out on the Cardinals, man. And the Raiders, I want to be in on, but the Max Crosby fiasco is just ridiculous. Where they decided that Baltimore wants to back out of the deal, and they knew they could get that off on the Raiders, which they did. The Raiders don't have much. They don't have much going on with them, period. So, but they they can steal a game in their division. They can steal a game in their division. They can steal one game, so that gives them 3 wins, and that gives Arizona the 2. That's how I see it. You got to start somewhere in these verses, so that's where I decided to start. Question for you: if it's not the quarterback from Indiana in Oakland, who would it be? Oh, excuse me, in Las Vegas. If it's not the quarterback from Indiana, who would it be for Vegas?
Aiden O'Connell, which I'm holding my nose at,
Yeah,
but
so now
that's
I'm going back. I rescind my vote. I rescind my vote. Yeah, I think the Cardinals win 3 games. Like Aiden
or
O'Donnell.
or or he's still a free agent, and I think, and from what I read, I know that he's looking at what's happening, what's going on with the Steelers. If the Steelers don't, if Aaron Rodgers returns to the Steelers, Kirk Cousins is still sitting out there. Now, tell me if it's not like one of those Spider-Man memes where you get Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza out there in the Raiders, where they go like, "Oh, you look at it. They're almost the same quarter." In a way, it feels like they're the same quarterback, and in a way, Kirk Cousins knows he's not a full-time starter now. I think he's accepted that. So you have him start say, and I prefer this way personally, honestly, because I think too many quarterbacks nowadays get thrown into the fire, and you don't know, and I think their confidence gets burnt. The last thing I want to do is have my number one overall pick behind a questionable offensive line and getting hit left and right. So I go, hey, listen, Kurt, we'll throw you, and the Raiders still have some money too. I'll give you about $10-12 million. Take one for the team, get hit for about 4 or 5 weeks, and then you can mentor the kid and show him what to look at and show him the ropes, and you go from there. I'd rather see that and start to build a winning culture in a way. You get the basis of it. I ain't saying Kirk Cousins is a guy I'm going to base everything around on. Yeah, he's going to teach you how to win in big games because we all know how that ended. But at least it's somebody to say, like, hey, this is how you be a pro. This is how you start the basis of being a winner. You get Tom Brady and Fernando's ear, and you move from there.
Only reason why I had that, only issue I have or take umbrage with that philosophy is it's not like the Raiders are building anything. Like Tom Brady's involved with the Raiders, and I don't know if that's a good idea because he's out here carrying cachet like he's the Jerry West of the NFL boardroom. Like he's out here carrying cachet like he's Bill Parcells. He is in a role he's never been in, and right now everyone gives him credit because he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Talk to me in 3 years when the first writer says, kind of seems Jerry Jones-ish. He's kind of involved a lot like Jerry Jones. Well, the difference is he played the game. Yeah, but you didn't study the game. You don't study draft picks. You don't evaluate teams. You don't evaluate teams. You don't know what the talent landscape looks like and what would be best for your team. How many guys do you have on your roster that are out of system? And then how many do you have that are out of position? Because that matters. They may be a good player, they're just not in the right system. How many players do you have that don't? How many hostages do you have on your rosters? How many guys don't want to be there? That's a real thing. And when Tom Brady walks into the room, he gets his instant respect that he has not earned. He has not earned that respect because he hasn't built a roster. But when he gets that respect, does it go here or does it go here? Because if it's going here, then he's going to be way too involved. I shouldn't see Tom Brady's name pop up at all with anything Raiders related. Not right now. Not until that team is good and ready to rock and roll. Until then, bum's a word if you're Tom Brady. Just that face right there. That's what you need to do anytime. You should be holding press conferences. You should be releasing statements. You should be, man, I'm just out here having fun playing some flag football. I let the guys that are smarter than me handle it. Until he does that, I feel like it's going to trickle down and there's going to be issues in Raiderland. I get the final word to you.
I think one thing that's not going to let it happen. Albert Breer put this report out today in his morning quarterback. Brady's doing. We know he's delved into the business side of things. He's bringing in. He's got connections and he's bringing in money. Not so much as like say, hey, we're going to salary cap, but investments in terms of luring people and like everything else from those things, especially from his soccer clubs over to the Raiders. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're seeing it looking like he starts to invest in more like facilities, what have you. So he's going to. That's one way he's going to learn to do that. And I'm sorry if I'm the Raiders. I'm desperate to at least hear anybody who's gotten something close to winning because the last time you guys were actually relevant and like some people feared that team, Rich Gannon was the quarterback. And yeah, so I'm looking at a guy who's one thing who's still, I wouldn't be surprised. The one thing I wouldn't be surprised they wouldn't allow it because he's the owner now, but seeing him play on Saturday, I think I can go one more time. Hey, right around the rules and let me throw it. Gronk, come to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part. Like that's the sad part. That the thought is Brady could help. Brady couldn't help in Philadelphia. Brady couldn't help in Kansas City. Brady couldn't help in, when you think of all these places Brady couldn't help, the fact that you think Brady could help at 49,000 years old, yeah. Brady could help in Pittsburgh. Brady could help in Arizona. He can help there. He can't help in Green Bay. He can't help in San Francisco. He can't help in Seattle. But yeah, listen, man, the Raiders have been a bad franchise for a long time. The Cardinals have been a bad franchise forever. The Cardinals have never won a championship. The Raiders haven't won a championship since color TV's been around. I'm still going to go with the Raiders for 3 wins. More than anything because they bring one win home for Max Crosby. They get one extra win for Max Crosby. They do get one extra win for the culture. We'll go there. That's it for this episode of Unparalleled Sports Talk. If you like the podcast, please share, comment, subscribe, whatever your podcast platform allows you to do. He's Chris Franklin of NJ.com. I'm Kwame Fisher-Jones. Until next week, we appreciate your time and year. You're busy.